Okay, we got the other pair of 36s here in the viewing room. So reiterate pedigree, main drag, set the curve. This litter would be full sibs to the champion barrel at San Angelo here over the winter, the reserve lightweight at San Antonio, the winner of Class 1 at OYE in the Barrows, and the fifth overall Duroc Barrow at OYE as well, which would be a different one, and the fifth overall Duroc Guild at OYE. So here again, main drag, set the curve. Go ahead, Bryce.
Well, I remember some of those main drags that you would have had there last fall, and would have took some of those down south and sold very well, and then obviously got along very well. So that's obviously a positive. And this Dash 3 looks a lot like the bear you would have probably sold there in Lubbock. I think maybe a bear for me that still got a nice look out in front of his shoulder, and kind of a shorter bodied bear that's still big in terms of his rib cage, and still stout in terms of his feature as he goes to the surface. Maybe just a little camera shy and doesn't want to just 100% hook up there on the far side as he wants to follow just a little bit. But you're seeing him as he comes directly at the camera, a big square chest floor and got a big arm. That thing's just lower forerib and upper forerib match so well. He's big, he's bold there, and then as you prop him up from the side, he wants to be a little shy there. But I think there we're starting to see just the top of his skeleton there. I think one that's level and still very good out of his hip and rear leg. A bear that matches very well. The Dash 4 hog that Carson's got on his left there, I think one that's maybe just a little bit stouter there in terms of his noggin, a little denser there in terms of his forehead, but I don't think he sacrifices look out in the front 1/3 of his body. He's probably just even bolder there in the base of his forerib and still just as short in terms of his side. That thing is very wide and very dimensional out of the backside of his shoulder. He's not rolled up and just ready to go to a pig show, but the basics are there. I mean, get a big rib cage, and that sets the foundation for everything as you go to build it up high. And I think that's the short story on these. I think rib cage is extremely good, and they're going to build and go and do all the things that you want them to do as they get onto the feed bucket.
Yeah, these 36s just look like Southwest ring barrows, in my opinion. Dash 3 is closer to the camera here, and Dash 4 is further away. Honestly, gun to my head of the 36s, 36-3 is my pick. That one floats my boat right there. I mean, tall-shouldered, boxy-sided, good looking, opened up square underneath. You can't put a hole in that one, and he still brings the extras in terms of features. Dash 4 is one of those that if somebody decided to bomb the U.S., we could live off that hog for a while. And I mean, just rib cage, I mean, width coming right at you, big stout arm. He is the bigger featured one of the two, probably even the stouter noggined one of the two, but. I mean, there's differences here, but you can tell they're mates. I mean, I think a pair that obviously from just a predictability standpoint have some proof in the pudding in terms of what their full sibs did. And in 9 times out of 10 here, when I make one mating and it's good and I make it again, it's better the second time around. And I know crossbred guys would call me a liar, but that's why purebreds are better than crosses, I guess, if I want to throw that in there right there. We got a little more predictability, but buy with confidence here. These 36s are for real. If you got a chance, come look at them in person. If not, just give me a holler.